Hey guys, how are we all doing? So this video is going to be about how I trade the Asian session and how you can as well, and I'll be breaking down the trades that I took this week. So if you go on my JSnipesFX Telegram channel, you can see the before and after photos, so you know it's not just hindsight. So we'll begin with the draw on liquidity. So on the daily time frame, we have this buy side liquidity, and we can see price has been moving towards it. So that is where I'm expecting price to go. When we go to the 4-hour time frame, we can see that structure is bullish. So the last break of structure was here, and then we can see that there was internal structure here where we had another internal break here and another one here. So now I'm expecting price to keep going up, take this out, and also that buy side liquidity. So we'll go now to a 15-minute time frame. So if we look, we can see we took out liquidity here, and after we took out liquidity, we had a 15-minute break in structure, and price is still moving forwards, or upwards I should say, and we also have this as a target to take out this liquidity here. So fast forwarding to where I took the trade, so I saw price moving upwards, and then again it's broken again, hit this order block and had an explosive move up, breaking structure again. Now price came down and it just failed to tap the order block. So if I zoom in here, you can see that it didn't touch the 15-minute order block. So this shows me they're probably inducing people into thinking it's going up first. So what I did, I had this as my inducement, so I'm expecting this to get taken out. So this is where they're trapping some people, we could say, and tapping into the 15-minute order block. So I was just waiting to see that happen. So let's fast forward. Okay, so we tapped into the order block, took out the liquidity, and then we had a break in structure here. And next, all I did was I entered off this order block that took out the liquidity and tapped into the 15-minute order block. So my entry was like this, and then I was targeting that 15-minute high up here. So we see price tapped, and then it pushed up, went down a little, and then hit RTP. So we can have a look at down the 15-minute time frame, and that was what happened. So yeah, we took out that liquidity, and that was the first trade of the Asian session. So we'll go into Tuesday now, and just letting you know that if you've been following all my other videos, the way I'm trading the Asian session is the exact same as how I'm trading how I trade the other sessions. It seems to work everywhere, which is pretty good. So you can still use that, but anyway, I'm breaking through doing all this. So we took out now the daily buy side liquidity I labeled earlier here, but if I go to a 15-minute chart, we don't have a 15-minute break of structure anywhere. So bearishly, this is where the break would be, and we can see price is far away from that. So now what I want to see is what's happening on the 5-minute. So we were going lower, and then over here we had a bullish break in structure. Tapped into this order block here, and then price started to go a bit higher. So tapped into this order block, had an explosive move up, went down, almost broke it, and then went up again. So now I was simply waiting to see, once I saw this move higher, I wanted to see if we tap into this order block, what will happen. So I put the 5-minute order block here, then I go to the 1-minute time frame, and just waiting. Price taps it. Oops. Price taps into that 5-minute order block, and then it creates this big push up and another order block here on the 1-minute. So I can put this out there. Entry will be there, just waiting for it to come back and tap it into it. Stop loss under the low. and my targets are going to be, so if I go to here, this is the high of the whole range, so I can have a safe target here and here, because we don't know if price is going to break here. So safe targets are always good, especially when the safe target is 4R here and 5R here, which is more than enough. So price taps into the order block, and then it moved really aggressively and took out that liquidity. So that was my Tuesday trade. So go over to the Wednesday trade now. So with Wednesday, what I saw was on the 4 hour, we have a 4 hour fair value gap here. Now the fair value gap, the close of it will be this line. So if I drag this across, we can see that, let's see what happens. So fast forward this day because I didn't trade London or New York. And so we tapped into here. We tapped into the 4 hour fair value gap. We also have this liquidity being built up, almost like a trend line liquidity. And we can see now that price pushing lower a bit. So if we go to a 5-minute time frame, still not much to see here, but we can see that price came, took out liquidity and dropped heavily. So this is giving me signs that we've tapped the 4 hour closed the 4 hour fair value gap. I have all this liquidity here, and I can see price pushed up and then dropped heavily. So my draw on liquidity is now down here lower. So now 15-minute time frame, I can see we have a fair value gap here. So I'm just waiting for price to come and tap into that, which it does there. And then I think it's now going to skip my entry. Yeah. So price tapped into it and took out this liquidity here, these equal highs. Then it had another fair value gap right here on the 1-minute time frame. Tapped it there. I didn't get into this entry, but I waited to enter at the order block when it came up there. And just in case it wanted to fuel the fair value gap, I put my stop loss right there instead of tied to the order block. My target was the 1-minute low. So here was a 1-minute low where liquidity would be. And that was my final take profit target. Now what happened with this trade was price was, it started to drop and then it just started to accumulate or consolidate. So once I saw this happening, I took profits, or I took some of the position off, so partials, at about 2.6R, 2.5R, and yeah, I was at break even, and then price just simply came back, stopped me at break even, and then it pushed lower. So when I saw this, it swept the liquidity here. I entered off this fair value gap and order block here. So my entry was here, stop loss right there, and then targets, because I just got stopped out on this one, I wanted just to make sure I could get another partial, so it's like one win, because 2 partials is 50%. So I took my partials here, but this trade I actually went to break even very early after this break, and then I got stopped at break even. And once I saw that it didn't break this high and we were going lower, and I saw it tap the order block and start to push lower, I just entered manually here, put my stop loss above this, took my first profits about like this, 3R roughly I think it was, and then I was wanting to go and hold it down to there. What happened was it took out this liquidity here, and then price came back up, tapped me out at break even right here, and then it decided to drop. So nothing I could really do. Well, there is, I could have gone for this trade, I definitely should have gone to break even once we broke here. Probably also for this, once we broke the lows actually. So the bias was right, just the trade management wasn't the greatest. and you can see once we take out this liquidity that we started to just push up once more. So safe targets, knowing where you can expect a reaction is very important. So let's get into the next trade. So going to the daily time frame. So just going to clear this. On the daily time frame, we have these order blocks. So drawing this out, we've tapped the daily order block, and we also took out this liquidity, the buy side liquidity. So I would say now is when I'm expecting price to possibly go lower. Hold on. So this was the session we just did. So all right, so we had this daily order block tapped, 1 hour break-in structure here. So that's the first thing. Then on the 15-minute time frame, we had a small sweep of liquidity. So if I zoom in, you can see it swept that low. And then we had a break of structure. So for this now, this was showing me that we could go a little higher, and I wanted to see price take out this high here. My safe target was here though. So now I'm just waiting for the Asian session. The Asian session started, pushed up, and again broke structure again. Then we had this, filled this fair value gap, or tapped into it, and on the 5-minute we had a sweep of liquidity. Once I saw this aggressive push, I simply went to the 1-minute time frame, and I saw we also took out this liquidity here, and I entered on the 50% of the wick. So I was a little late to the entry. I think I entered somewhere here, and now my target was, so I had my safe profit target that was this high here, the 1-minute high. So this has liquidity resting above it. So I wanted to just make sure that I secure profits, because trading Asian session is new to me, and I haven't back tested it. So I'm just live testing everything. So price almost got there, took it out, and then now my next target was all the way up here. So I wanted that safe target just in case it didn't go to there. So that was my target here. We also had the 15-minute order block that I was wanting to see if we get a reaction from. So price went here, went down a little. So if I drag this out, and then what I saw was this. We had a sweep of this liquidity and a break of structure here. Then we had another sweep here, and we had a strong push up, again breaking structure, and then again breaking structure here and leaving behind this order block. So I drew this order block out, knowing this is the 15-minute order block here, where we could get a bearish reaction from. Then I wanted to see what the reaction was here, or I was really testing something. So I want you guys to back test it yourself, see how often this happens. But this low, you'll see that the lows were starting to respect each low. This low here didn't go lower. This low didn't go lower than this candle. Again, this low didn't go lower than this candle. Once I saw that, I entered on the next candle here. I put my stop loss there, and my take profit was where this 15-minute order block was. So tapped me in. These made equal lows, and then price shot up. Again, you can see none of the lows got broken here. And then it took it up to the take profit area, and then you can see price drop down. So that's why a safe take profit again is very, very important. Anyway, fast forwarding. So price kept going. So the full position I took off here. So here was the full position for 10R. and then we tapped into and closed this fair value gap. So once I saw this, I entered. On the 1 minute, we have this fair value gap that if you draw it across, I entered on the tap there. So here, this is quite an aggressive entry. I probably should have waited for the tap of the order block. Would have been a better entry as well, but we can journal it and move forward. Then my target was, if we took out this buy side liquidity on the 15 minute, I want to take out this 5 minute low. So that was the trade there. I let it just run. Now I also got another trade. So there was a 5 minute fair value gap right here. So I drew out the close, which lined up perfectly with this order block. So some people may have shorted from here, and these are, even though they don't have wicks, these are equal highs. So this is liquidity. So I was waiting for that to get taken out. Price took it out here. Then what I saw was we had a mitigation of the wick that took out the liquidity and closed the fair value gap. Once I saw that and I saw price start to drop, I just simply entered about here. Stop loss went above the went above the the high, and then take profit was again this 5 minute low, and then price just dropped and ran nicely to it. So that was all the trades I did for the week on the Asian session. So for those people that are wondering if it's possible to trade Asian session and make good money, yes it is. If you found this useful, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and good luck with your trading. Peace.